Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So my name is Daniel Alazar. I am professor at ISAE Superior Toulouse, and the title of my talk is Characterization of SEDM-induced disturbance and their effect on spacecraft pointing error. So SEDM is the acronym for Solar Array Driving Mechanism. So it is a joint work with Christelle Kummer from Monera, Francesco Sanfedino and Andrea Bernoulli from ISAE Superior, and Davide Odemino from the European Space Agency. First of all, the outline of this talk. So we will precise the context and objective of this study. Then we will give some background on the two input, two output port model approach, TTOP model. Then we are going to see how it is possible to include in this approach a very accurate model of the SADM, the local mechanism of interest, which is constituted of two main bodies, the stepper motor and the gearbox. Then we will apply on the study case, and we'll finish with the conclusion and perspective. So the first motivation of this talk is to develop an engineering tool to capture the disturbance induced by the internal mechanism, solar array driving mechanism, on the pointing error. And of course, we want to do pointing budget around the three axes of the spacecraft. And one of the main objectives is to explain the pointing error on a particular study case. It is an European spacecraft still in operation, which was highlighted by telemetries. So in fact, on the telemetry of the gyrometer measurement, we can see that we have some oscillation, and the magnitude of this oscillation varies according to the angular configuration of the solar array with respect to the central body. And of course, it varies according to the position of the spacecraft along its orbits. And of course, the objective is to validate our model by comparison with this telemetry. So the proposed approach to solve this problem, but first of all, we are going to use the Satellite Dynamic Toolbox, SDT, to build the 6 degrees of freedom model of the overall spacecraft, which is mainly composed of flexible solar array connected to the main body. And of course, this model is fully parameterized according to the angular configuration of the solar array with respect to the main body, theta. And we are going to see that this model of the whole spacecraft can be enriched with a very accurate model of a local mechanism, the SADM, and of course to take into account the internal source of disturbance inside the solar array driving mechanisms. And so to fill this job, we have to build the TTOP model of the stepper motor and the TTOP model of the gearbox, which are the two main components of the SADM. So first of all, some background on the TTOP modeling approach. So the basic principle of the TTOP model approach is summarized in this slide. So if we consider a flexible body, so it is named L sub I, which is connected to a child substructure at the point C and to a parent substructure at the point P. So in fact, the double modeling approach, which is called M to Li sub PC, is a dynamic model, a linear model, which will involve two kinds of inputs. The first one is the wrench applied by the child structure to the current structure at the point C. And the second input is the acceleration imposed at the point P, so the six component, of course, by the parent structure. And we have two kinds of outputs, the acceleration at the point C and the wrench applied by the current structure L sub I to the parent structure. So this is the dual input and outputs of the modeling approach. So we are not going to detail the state space representation of this model. What is very important to understand is that, in fact, this TTOP model includes in the same minimal state space representation the direct dynamic model at the point P and the inverse dynamic model at the point C. And all the data required can be directly fed thanks to an interface with Nastran, and all the data can be read in the Nastran output file, FO6, given by the Nastran analysis. Of course, it is possible to extend this approach to NINOB model, so N input, N output per model. So here, for instance, we have a solar panel with three characteristic points, the parent point P, and we can connect this panel at two children points, C1 and C2, to another panel. So it is very convenient to build an array of solar panels, for instance. And the state space representation can be directly extended to Punidov model. And finally, the last property, which is very interesting, is the channel inversion operation. Indeed, T-top model consider always transfer from range to acceleration, or acceleration to range. So all the channels are always invertible. So MEPC is the basic model of the body E at the point P and C, but it is under the clamp at P, free at C boundary condition. So for instance, if we invert this upper channel relative to the 6 component at the point C, we will have the model which is valid for the clamp at C and clamp at P boundary condition. And this is very useful to build the model of any kind of tree-like structure, of multi-body system which have a tree-like structure. For instance, for the body L3, this body has some acceleration imposed at this point and some acceleration imposed at this point. So this is why we have to use some inversion of the channel. But we build directly the Simulink model of this multi-body system, just using one block for bodies per bodies, and of course some direct cosine matrix, because each of these models is of course expressed in the body frame, in the local body frame. So, to conclude on the T-top approach, but the main interest is that we obtain a model which is highly structured, because we have one block per substructure. So we have a physical meaning and understanding of the multi-body system. All the parametric uncertainty are taken into account at the subcomponent level, and we are sure that the representation of this uncertainty is minimal in terms of number of occurrence. So this is very convenient if we want to redesign a particular component during a preliminary design phase. And also it is very interesting to perform what we call today the control structure co-design, because we use this highly substructured model. We are sure that the model provided by the SDT is minimal in terms of number of states and number of occurrence of the uncertain parameter. And recently, a MATLAB Simulink interface was developed, and we have also developed some tutorials. So feel free to read the user guide of this toolbox, which can be freely downloaded at this link. Now we go back to our problem to model to develop an accurate model of the local mechanism, the solar array driving mechanism. So first of all, the steeper motor. So in fact, we use some previously published work in this reference, Cheng and Cheng. But this model will be adapted to take into account that, of course, following the T-top spirit, this model must be valid in the 6 degrees of freedom, and we have, because we have to transmit the range from the solar array to the main body in both sense. Of course, we have to consider that the steeper motor, the rotor, is not fixed, it is on a moving platform. In order to be generic, also, we are going to consider arbitrary direction of the mechanism axis R sub E. So this is the list of the parameters which is involved in this model, given in this reference. I will not detail here. But to give some details, so this is the mathematical model around the mechanism axis. So of course, G sub R is the rotor inertia, theta double dot is the local acceleration of the steeper motor, and we take into account the moving platform by the projection of the 6-component acceleration dual vector through the augmented vector which represents the axis of the steeper motor. And we have two kinds of torque, the driving torque and of course the reaction due to the load which is projected. So this is the range T sub E slash R at P is the range applied by the load which is projected along the R axis. So it is written here. NCM can be decomposed in 3 parts. We have, of course, the electromagnetic stiffness with the gain K sub 0. We have a damping term. And we have a gain, which is exactly K sub m times I times gamma, between the input of the model, which is in fact the microstep integer. It is the integer corresponding to the microstep, to the driving torque. So gamma is the electrical microstep, E is the current microstep number, I already mentioned, and alpha is the mechanical microstep. So E is an integer which can be generated this way, or in a Simulink fashion using this way. Theta double dot ref is the required angular rate for the solar array. So we integer to have the position, we divide by the microstep angle, and we take the function floor to generate the integer. And this is here the T-top model of the stepper motor. So it is a 13 by 13 model. Here we have also the 12 input and outputs relative to the T-top model, but we have a 13 input. This is the integer corresponding to the microstep number, and we have also an output. It is the angle of the stepper motor. And this is the way we can generate this model according to arbitrary axis for the stepper motor. The gearbox, it is exactly the same approach. This is the T-top model of the gearbox. It is a 13 by 13 model. And the last input is in fact the internal disturbance inside the gearbox. And the last output, input, and the last output is the relative deflection of the output shaft of the gearbox relative to the input shaft of the gearbox due to the stiffness of the gearbox. And this model depends on these parameters: the gearbox ratio, the input inertia, the input shaft inertia, the output shaft inertia, the stiffness, the damping, and the direction axis. Now we are going to detail how it is possible to characterize the internal gearbox disturbance torque T sub PERT. So in fact, we are going to use a previous tool which was developed to study the kinematics of gear mechanism. So it is the kinematics analysis and gear mechanism toolbox. So the objective of the toolbox is to analyze the kinematics of complex gear mechanisms involving several bodies or links connected through revolute joint or gears. And you can also include some roll bearing in the revolute joint. It works. It can be taken into account. So more particularly, it allows to compute the relative angular rates between the end bodies of the mechanism with respect to a reference body, and also the frequency ratio of all the imperfections we can find in the contact of the gearbox, of the mechanism. So this is, for instance, the kinematic sketch of the gearbox which was used in this study. So we have four bodies. The black one is the input shaft. We have a crown, fixed crown in brown. We have a double pinion in red. The output crown, which is in fact the output shaft. And we have the number of teeth for each gear pairs. And so the output of the toolbox provide, of course, the list of the gear ratio. So the body number 4 is the reference body. And this is the gear ratio, in fact. And we have all the velocities. And what is also very interesting is that it provides also the list of the fundamental frequency relative to each imperfection, which can be present in the various gear pair and in the various bodies involved in the gear pair. Yeah, so for instance, if I consider the gear pair between the body 2 and 3, if we have a default, an imperfection on the tooth of the body 2, but for one turn of the output shaft, this imperfection will appear 184%. And if it is a 2 on the body 3, this is the new ratio. Of course, this analysis gives only the fundamental frequency of the imperfection. But we can have several harmonics which depend on the shape of the imperfection. So here we have considered two kinds of imperfection. It is what we call the Sauty signal. So this is the time domain representation. And here we have the decomposition according to the first n sub h harmonics. And we consider also the time-limited square signal, which is depicted here, and the associated decomposition according to the first NH harmonics. So now we are going to detail the application to the study case. So this study case, we have one rigid body, which is the yellow part, the white part body here. So the angular acceleration is integer twice. We use a very classical proportional derivative attitude control system to control the attitude of the satellite. The flexible solar array is the pink block, which is connected to the rest of the structure through the DCM, which are fully parameterized according to the solar array angular configuration. And the Titov model of the stepper is the green one, and the Titov model of the gearbox is the blue one. And we can see that we have two additional inputs. The green one, it is the microstep integer, and the blue one, it is the perturbation inside the gearbox. So we are going to focus on this input signal, because this one is a very high frequency signal, which is not very relevant in this study. So what it is possible to analyze directly from this model is depicted in this figure. So here in blue, you have the frequency response between the internal disturbance torque Tpert to the free angular rate PQR, according to various angular configuration of the solar panel. And the red line are the various harmonic of the imperfection number 3. So directly from this diagram, it can be seen for some angular configuration, the harmonic number 15 and 16 can match with the first flexible mode frequency, and so you can have some resonance. For the flexible mode number 2, we see the harmonic number 22, 23, 25, 24. And for instance, for the flexible mode number 3, there is no harmonic which can match with the frequency of the first flexible mode. And of course, it is possible to go deeper in the analysis and to provide some worst case analysis. So for instance, for a given imperfection listed in the list of the imperfection, it is possible to find the worst case gain on the free axis. So here we consider the angular rates, PQR, and the associate worst case configuration for the solar array, and the worst case harmonics. That is the index of the harmonics, which gives the highest gain. So this is the result in the case of the imperfection number 2 and in the case of the imperfection number 3. Of course, these results are consistent with the spectral contribution which can be computed from telemetries. And the last conclusion is that, in fact, it can be checked that this result is not very sensitive to the shape of the signal. We have quite the same result if we use a SOTI signal to model the imperfection or a time-limited square signal for the imperfections. And now a few words about the simulation model. So for the simulation model, it is very important to understand that this simulating model is to be used only for analysis purpose. It cannot be used for simulation purpose because you have a very huge algebraic loop between the various blocks of the system. So to have a simulation which is reasonable from the time computational point of view, what is recommended is to evaluate the model for on the gridding of the parametric space. So here, for instance, every degree on theta. And then we can build an LPV model and using a gain scheduling approach, which is implemented in the simulating block LPV. So this is the simulating file which will be used for simulations. And this is finally the results of the simulation. So we consider 3,500 seconds on the orbit. This is the angular rate of the solar array provided by the SADM. And this is the range on the attitude of the satellite between minus 108 degrees to plus 108 degrees. So the result of the simulation is the blue one, and we put with a shift the telemetries in red just to do the comparison. So first of all, the magnitude on the free axis is quite are matching, and of course it is on the x-axis that the vibrations are the most important in terms of magnitude. But what is interesting is that we have the same behavior on the model and on the telemetries. That means there are some particular angular configuration of the solar array where the flexible modes are not at all excited, and there are some angular configuration, of course, where we have some resonance and the magnitude of the vibration is quite high. So finally, we are going to conclude. So first of all, But what was interesting in this study is to show that it is possible to build a 6 degrees of freedom model of the whole spacecraft, taking into account a very accurate model of a local mechanism, including its internal disturbance. This model is fully parameterized according to the solar array angular configuration, so it is very convenient to perform the worst case analysis, parametric analysis. And on this particular study case, this model allows to capture the interaction which can be seen on the telemetries and which is the result of the various interaction between the solar array, the main body, and the variation of this interaction according to the solar array angular configuration. So this kind of tool is very interesting to perform 3-axis pointing budget. So this is the result, the comparison with the validation on the telemetry on a current operational European spacecraft. The perspective, but in fact it is an ongoing study. The objective is to use this dynamic model to build an onboard estimator to monitor in real time the disturbance source and also the pointing error to improve the pointing performance. So this is the end of the talk. Thank you very much for your attention. And just to finish, the list of reference relative to the satellite dynamic toolbox and this work. Thank you very much.